I want to say something very important, which I learned today. And it's about frequency. You see, what is happening is that, what do I really mean when I said that the two opposites must actually nullify? So that in the nullification, there's a burst out from the nothing state, a breath, and a new world. But how does it happen? How does the two opposites nullify? The secret is actually found in the frequency. The two opposites must have the same frequency. If they don't have the same frequency, they could not nullify. That's a fact. It is proven in an experiment. And I will show you that experiment just a while ago. So it's important that we have the same frequency. And that's what it means to relate with someone else. When I relate with someone else, my frequency must match with the other guy's frequency, so that we both nullify. And out of the two becomes the one flesh. That's why a meal and a meal cannot really coexist, because they cannot nullify. Only a male and a female can do that. And it's important for us to have the same frequency. Now, this special secret applies as well when I take a walk. When I take a walk, I'll be walking at a certain frequency. I realize that it's better on my part to walk with the two legs and also move my two hands, so that the legs and the hands would be opposite to each other. But there's one more matching frequency, and that is me. I must match with the frequency of my leg. In other words, I shouldn't be walking too fast or too slow. I must know what the frequency I'm having with me. That is something only you know, nobody knows. It's the frequency of my causation. That's what I call it. Because when I follow that frequency within me, I'm causing. I'm causing myself. I can follow my thinking process. I can follow my body. That's called the frequency of causation. Okay, so I must make sure that when I walk, I must walk with the same rhythm as my frequency of causation. And why? Because when they match, I'll become healthier. That's it. Just running too fast outside your own frequency won't do. If you want to run, it must match with your own frequency. For myself, I realized that my frequency of causation is usually very slow. You notice that the way I talk is also slow. So because of that, when I walk, I must make sure that the walking speed would match with the frequency of causation. When these two match, I'm as healthy as the walking speed. Mark what I just said. When the two match, my health will match with the walking speed. And this is how health opens up for that person. And get it straight. It is not the walking speed that causes me to be healthy. Neither me causing the walking speed, but rather because they match, and they are actually opposite, because the body is opposite to the me, because the me is unispaced. And because they are opposite, and because the frequency matches, they can nullify. That's the point. When they nullify, what comes out from between is the purer body, the purer David Shield. To notice very interestingly, the matching of frequencies, or you can call it resonance, is not because the positive or the negative is of any value, but rather because when the frequency matched, they nullify. And what bursts off from between in the nothing state is the one pure life.
Interesting happens that I don't understand. The right conditions, if you apply the right frequency, it's like they spontaneously organize into toroidal forms. Visualize a sphere with a North Pole and a South Pole. And now let's say you collapse that sphere so that the North Pole and the South Pole meet at the equator. So now you've got this like indentation in the north and the south. They're like cones, right? What then happens is that you get this electron or ion, or both, starts spiraling down that funnel. And as it's spiraling down, it's increasing and increasing in rotational velocity. Now, in the northern hemisphere, say, it's going clockwise, and in the southern, it's going counterclockwise. And they meet at the equatorial plane. And that's where something really interesting happens that I don't understand.
And that's true. Nobody will ever understand. Nor will ever science reach to that place of the black hole. There is a nothingness from which bursts out the true one. And we cannot explain it. Me and my friend, we are all part of space-time. And our objective in life is merely to match our frequencies, provided they're opposites, so that they bring about a nullification. You can call it a self-abasement. From there is the touch of the me. The being is felt. The being comes from that nothing state. And based on this idea, I have this belief that if I could make a rhythm, bum, 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 and play it on my bed, for example, so that the rhythm matches with me, my causation, what would happen would be a healthier me, because the rhythm and me would nullify, bringing forth the one purer state. And when I play my table tennis, I noticed that I play better if I play the rhythm that matches me. Whereas if I were to rush and play at a different rhythm, then it doesn't work out well. What's so interesting is to discover resonance between two opposites, but the same frequency. And therefore, even when I'm thinking, I should make sure that my thoughts, the thinking, matches with the frequency of my causation. What happens is that the thinking and me resonates, nullifies into breath nullifies into the one state. You may call it the NDE. You see, in my past videos, I was a little bit wrong. I said that I must match the frequency of my thoughts so that I can be the causation of my thoughts. For otherwise, the thoughts is not my thought. So I have to match to the frequency of my thoughts so that I could be the causation of the thought. But I was a little bit wrong, yeah. Actually, in truth, what is happening is that I'm matching the causation of the thought so that the thought and me becomes one through nullification. The matching of the frequency, no doubt, is the causation. But how does it cause? It causes because as the frequency matches, there's a nullification, and we are both one. And with this oneness, you belong to me and I belong to you. And that's how I am the existence.